And right now, this guy's giving me problems. This lower ball joint is giving me hell to come out. So my plan of attack is I'm gonna cut it. With the cut wheel, I'm gonna cut it, and then with this socket right here, which is a 27-inch socket. Waiting for it to focus. Come on. 27-inch socket. When I cut this, I'm gonna lay this right on the body of the bushing and bang it out. It should come right out. I already took the ring that holds it in there. So after I bang this out, I'll show you pressing in the new one, getting it ready to put back on the car. But yeah, this is giving me hell right here, man. I don't know what's going on. I try to bang it out this way, it wouldn't come out. I try to use the depress tool and it didn't work. You see it bubbling up right here. I was trying to push it right out the shell because it's stuck in here. I soaked this with penetrating oil overnight. Hopefully that'll work. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take a blowtorch and I'm gonna heat the metal right here around it out. Hopefully the metal around it will expand enough for me to bang it out before I start banging it out. But first I'm gonna cut this off, this whole thing. I'm gonna cut it right here, cut it off, and then heat it up, then use this to bang the bushing out. I'll film that and show you my struggle with this. All right. Well, just finished cutting the ball joint out, the stem from the ball joint. That's it right here. I'll focus. That's it right there. And this is the tool I use right here. Cut wheel. Alright, I'll wait for it to cool down so I can heat up the metal around it, so this metal around it could expand, and I could try to bang it out and see if it comes out. I'm gonna film that part. This part I didn't film because it's a bunch of noise. I don't think you guys want to see me cutting into that. That was a pain in the butt. It took a little time too. That you see how thick it is. So I'm going to continue working on this. When it cools down, I'll set up the camera and show you guys how to bang this ball joint out of here. It's a pain in the butt, but you know, it works. Gets it out. This one happens to be frozen in there. Who knows how long they didn't change it. And I just happen to be the lucky one to change it. Alright, I'll get back to you when I start banging it out. Alright, I'm gonna heat this up so I can bang this ball joint case out. By heating it up, the metal expands. I'm hoping that it expands enough that it'll let me bang the case out. So it's stuck in there. Hopefully this will pop out now. Yeah, this happens, you know, once in a while. You start working on a car that's old, you run into problems like this when you start changing parts. So I'm gonna put this right here, start banging away. Starting to come out. See? Bingo. Came out. This ball joint gave me hell, man. But I took my time. Blood, sweat, and tears, and it's out. So now that the ball joint is out, I'm gonna clean this up. I'm gonna clean in here up. Then I'll film again when I get the press, and I'll show you how to press in the new one. All right. All right. Just finished cleaning this up in here. Sprayed it up with some oil. Took some Scotch-Brite. Had the green Scotch-Brite. And with a screwdriver, you know, I went in there, scraped off as much of the crud I could. Then I, you know, with a shop towel, rag, or whatever you can, you know, dirty shirt that you got lying around, you can, you know, clean it out. I scrubbed it out. I put a little grease inside this lip, and what I also did was I put grease around the lower lip here of the ball joint and the boot, so the boot won't mess up when I press it in. If you do it dry, you risk cutting the boot or breaking it when you compress it in. So right now I'm going to show you how to do that, how to you know, press it back in. So it has grease on it. I use regular grease. And what you do is put it in there, wiggle it in there, you know, make sure the boot goes in and it sits in and comes out a little right here. Let me see, can you see that? All right. So now what I'm gonna do is brought this ball joint press from Harbor Freight. Let me see. This is the kit I brought. They sell better ones. This did not help me take out the ball joint. Just letting you know that up front, but it does a good job pressing it back in. So the die that I'm going to be using is this one right here, this cup. It fits right over here, and it lets you press the ball joint straight in. And this, it won't touch. It looks like the screw's gonna touch down here, but it doesn't. You know, there's enough space in here for it to be pressed in. So if you never use one of these, you know, there's supposed to be a piece that goes up here, but you can't put it in here because then you won't be able to press this in. So you gotta set it up first. And there's a little hole in here which this sits inside. So I'm just gonna hand tighten it a little bit, right? And it'll be a lot easier if you had an air gun. Just make sure this is sitting on the outer lip. You don't want to tear up the ball joint when it starts sliding in. take your time with it. I'm almost there. And if you had an air gun or impact gun, you would just set it here and I got mine outside. It's raining, so I figure I'll bring it in here and do it manually. I don't know if that's a good idea, but that's what's gonna be done right now. Yeah, it's way easier with the impact wrench, impact gun. But if you don't have one, just you can still do it like this, like I'm doing it, the hard way. Just take your time and have it somewhere where it won't move around too much. Yeah, I'm gonna have to set this on the vise because it's moving all over the damn place. All right, let's see if this works now. I'll put it on the vise there, see if it holds it. All right, it's pressed in. Now I'll start backing out this tool. There it goes, pressed in. The lip is flush. Lip is flush, everything is flush there. Now whoever owned this car before, or whatever mechanic worked on it, when he looked like these ball joints were changed before, did a horrible job. Not only that, if you have an Acura TL between 2004 and 2008, I believe, there's a ring that sits in here. If you don't have this ring, the mechanic forgot to put it back. This ring protects all of this inside here from the dust, the dirt, debris. I had to order one for here because this didn't have it. So I don't know if you're interested. That's part number from Honda. These are original Hondas. This is the ring that would sit inside here. And it really didn't cost that much neither. I don't see why they didn't put it back. They're a pain in the butt to pop in. But you have to have this lip clean to, kind of get it in to seat. So this is where the ring goes, right here. Just be careful with the speed sensor right here. Let me get a rag here, clean it out before I pop it in. Make sure it's clean. And one way I found out how to pop these in is with a hammer, with two hammers actually. So I place it. There's a little groove right here. The sensor goes like right in here. You see? Yeah. Well, when you put this in, the sensor got to go through this hole. When you place it here, make sure the sensor has enough space there. And how I did it. I brought the wrong hammer inside here. But I got a hammer that I sit across. Let me see. Left it outside. It fits perfectly inside there. And I can pop it in straight across. This hammer's not. I might have to go and get my hammer. Alright, got my hammer. This is the hammer that I use to tap this in. I put it right on top. It fits, straight across. And with this, I tap it in. Because if you go tapping it in around, one side goes in, the other side pops out. It's a pain in the butt. So if you could get something that goes across, or a hammer that fits straight across here, it's much easier to tap it in. So right here, I'm gonna set this right here like that. Let me show you guys more or less. So that's how she sits. That opening is for that sensor. The sensor right here coming down. And as you can see, the ball joint sits flush here. It's just pressed in all the way. Once you see it flush like that, it's pressed in all the way. And yeah, let's get to tapping this in. Sounds like I'm hitting it hard, but I'm not. I'm tapping it in. All right, she's in there. Sometimes it don't go on that easy. Sometimes pain in the butt. One lip. As you're banging one side in, and you go to the side that's banged out, it pops the other side out. So take your time with it. And all that grease we put on this ball joint boot, wipe it away. You want this nice and dry when you put it back on the car. And that's it. It's done. Now you gotta install it back on the car. No, this is the ring that banged in. Make sure you clean these grooves out before you bang this ring in, because if you have any kind of dirt or grime in there, it's not gonna let this ring sit in proper. And this was out without the ring for a while, so I had rust in there. I had to sand it down a little, clean it out to make this ring fit in there. And this is the ball joint right here. You cleaned it up. It's nice and flush. This is ready to install back in the car. And that's how you take out a ball joint when it's frozen inside here, giving you problems. Well, this is how I do it. I'm sure this is not the only way, but this is the way I know how to do it. It's easy for me. Alright. I'll give you an update when I start putting this back on the car.